Welcome to the video on securing a six-figure cash windfall with smart, safe strategies. First, we will frame the problem. A large cash sum should not sit idle. Then, we will explore high-yield savings accounts and when to consider alternatives. Throughout, we will focus on maximizing safe, liquid returns while minimizing complexity and fees. Next, here is our agenda. We will cover why a cash strategy matters, the advantages of high-yield savings accounts, when and how to go beyond HYSAs using money market funds and ultra-short-term Treasury ETFs, a simple action plan based on time horizon, a practical checklist, and short quizzes to reinforce learning. Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. Your situation is unique, so consult a qualified advisor. All yields, APYs, and rules can change. Verify current details, including FDIC insurance, fund prospectuses, and tax implications, before acting. Let us begin with the HYSA advantage. High-yield savings accounts are typically offered by online banks and provide significantly higher APYs than standard savings accounts. They are FDIC insured up to $250,000 per depositor per institution and usually have no monthly fees while offering easy access. This makes them ideal for short-term goals and emergency funds. The flowchart illustrates how prioritizing safety and liquidity points you toward HYSAs, while those seeking slightly higher yields might consider money market funds or Treasury ETFs. Now, when selecting a HYSA, prioritize a competitive APY currently in the mid to high single digits on an annualized basis for savings accounts, and confirm FDIC insurance. Ensure there are no monthly fees and that transfer speeds and app usability meet your needs. Reputable institutions include Ally, SoFi, Capital One, and American Express Savings. For balances exceeding $250,000 per institution, spread funds across multiple banks to retain full FDIC coverage. Additionally, check whether the bank offers favorable rate tiers at higher balances. Moving on, this decision map lays out choices by time horizon. If the need is under 2 years, the primary recommendation is HYSA money market funds, or a certificate of deposit ladder for safety and liquidity. For a 2 to 5 year horizon, a blended approach keeps a core in HYSA or money market funds, with a partial allocation to short-duration treasuries to modestly improve yield without adding dramatic volatility. For more than 5 years, the majority should go to broad, low-cost, diversified ETFs while maintaining an emergency reserve in a HYSA. The diagram also flags that HYSAs provide FDIC insurance, money market funds offer liquidity with variable yields and are not FDIC insured, and Treasury-focused options can be state tax efficient. Next, let us consider options beyond HYSAs. Money market funds generally target very short-term, high-quality instruments and can offer yields over 4%. They are not FDIC insured, but they are designed to be conservative and highly liquid. Ultra-short-term Treasury ETFs, such as SGOV, hold U.S. Treasury bills. Their yields are competitive, and the interest from Treasuries is typically exempt from state and local income taxes, which can improve after-tax returns. Be aware that ETFs can have small price fluctuations and settle on trade date +1 or 2, while most money market funds can be accessed quickly, sometimes same day. Focus on low expense ratios and use low-fee brokers. To compare options, this table summarizes key differences. HYSAs pay competitive rates, are highly liquid, and offer FDIC insurance, but interest is fully taxable at both federal and state levels. Money market funds, especially Treasury or government-focused, can yield more and maintain high liquidity, though they are not FDIC insured. CD ladders can match or exceed HYSA yields if held to maturity, but limit liquidity and may incur penalties for early withdrawal. Ultra-short-term Treasury ETFs like SGOV trade intraday and provide state and local tax benefits, yet their net asset value can fluctuate, and they are not FDIC insured. Expense ratios are typically low across MMFs and Treasury ETFs. Quiz time. Which vehicle's income is often exempt from state and local income taxes? Option A, standard HYSA interest. Option B, Treasury-focused money market funds or ETFs such as SGOV. Option C, typical certificate of deposit interest. Or Option D, corporate bond funds. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Interest derived from U.S. Treasuries is generally exempt from state and local income taxes, which can improve the after-tax yield compared with bank interest, CDs, or corporate bond funds. Now, for long-term growth, consider broad, low-cost ETFs that capture the total U.S. market, the S&P 500, or global equities. Historically, these indexes have outpaced inflation and cash equivalents over multi-year periods. Volatility is inevitable, but maintaining discipline and time in the market typically outperforms trying to time entries and exits. Automate contributions, reinvest dividends, and always maintain a separate emergency fund in a HYSA. Here is a simple example allocation for a long horizon: 60% in a U.S. total market ETF, 20% in an international total market ETF, 10% in ultra-short treasuries such as SGOV for stability and tax efficiency, and 10% in HYSA for emergency cash. This is just an illustration. Individuals should tailor allocations to risk tolerance and goals. To operationalize this, if funds are needed within 2 years, prioritize a top-yielding HYSA, a government or treasury money market fund, or a CD ladder aligned with your timeline. For 2 to 5 years, use a blended approach with a core in HYSA or MMF and a sleeve in short treasuries, and rebalance annually. For more than 5 years, place the majority in broad, low-cost ETFs while keeping 6 to 12 months of living expenses in a HYSA. For balances above $250,000, distribute across multiple FDIC insured institutions or consider sweep networks to maintain coverage. Evaluate state and local tax implications, especially with Treasury income, and automate transfers, dividend reinvestment, and periodic reviews. Second quiz. If you need the money in 12 months, which is generally most appropriate? Option A, a broad market stock ETF. Option B, a HYSA, a Treasury-focused money market fund, or a CD ladder. Option C, individual high volatility stocks. Or Option D, cryptocurrency. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. With a 12-month horizon, prioritize safety and liquidity by using a high-yield savings account, a government or treasury money market fund, or a CD ladder that matches your timeline. Now, here is a practical checklist in markdown form. Confirm the APY and how interest compounds. Verify FDIC coverage per depositor per bank. Ensure there are no monthly fees and understand transfer limits. Test ACH speed and external account linking for balances exceeding $250,000. Split funds across multiple banks or consider sweep solutions. For money market funds and ETFs, check the expense ratio, settlement timing, and tax profile. Document your time horizon and target allocation, and automate transfers with periodic reviews. To recap the key takeaways: idle cash loses purchasing power, so put it to work safely. High-yield savings accounts are simple, FDIC insured, and highly liquid. Money market funds and treasury ETFs may offer higher yields and tax advantages. Always match the vehicle to your time horizon. Maintain an emergency fund in cash and invest the rest according to a plan. Keep fees and complexity low and automate good financial behavior. In summary, for short-term needs, use HYSAs, money market funds, or CD ladders to preserve capital and maintain liquidity. For long-term goals, broad, low-cost ETFs can drive growth. Distribute balances above $250,000 across multiple institutions to maintain FDIC coverage. Consider the state tax advantages of Treasury income. Finally, automate your plan, review periodically, and stay patient. Thank you for watching. If this was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below with your approach to handling a large cash windfall and whether you plan to use a HYSA only or go beyond into money market funds and treasury ETFs.